Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy belated holidays. Today is December the 26th, 2019. So I had to come into the office today because my dumb self didn't just go ahead and take off. And I was with a purpose in mind. I didn't take off because since I'm going to have so many doctor's appointments due to the fertility treatments that I'm having, or the process that I'm going through, I want to save my time for those things. Even though I have a lot of time, you never know what may come up. And so I'm the type of person, if you can go to work and work, then do that, because you never know when you will be incapacitated or an emergency may come up. So I try to save my time for a true vacation or for moments when it's really needed. So today is cycle day 6, and nothing that important is really going on, other than what I've done is I've gone ahead and found me a new OBGYN, and one that also works with or works in the field of reproductive and endocrinology, and stuff like that. Someone who can kind of work hands in hand with my fertility doctor, and who is able to do certain procedures that, if I got it done at the fertility office, it may be considered and coded one thing, and then if it's done there, it may be coded and considered something different, which affects billing, or what is covered by my insurance and what isn't covered by my insurance. So with that being said, one, I will still continue to use my fertility doctor for getting my IUIs and stuff done, but I want to check with my fertility doctor to see if she will be able to do not really monitoring, but just kind of give me a in-between view or understanding of what's going on in my uterus, mid-cycle type of thing, to make sure that I'm not developing any cysts or having any type of issues that would prevent me from ovulating properly. So if you guys remember, my fertility doctor wanted me to do a medicated cycle, but because of timing, that wasn't able to happen this cycle. However, they had already called in the medications, so they called in the Clomid, the trigger shot, and then some progesterone. So of course I won't be taking the Clomid and the trigger shot this cycle, because all of that stuff needs to be monitored by a doctor to make sure that everything is working according to how it's supposed to work, that I don't super ovulate, hyper ovulate, or whatever you call it. So I will not be taking the Clomid and the trigger shot. However, the day after my IUI, I will go ahead and take the progesterone, because that's supposed to aid in making sure you have enough progesterone in your system to aid in implantation. So I will be taking that. The other thing that I wanted to come back and talk to you guys about is, so there are two things that I've added to what I'm going to be doing this cycle. One, I'm going to be taking a pure form of royal jelly, which is in the powdered form. And I'm also going to be taking the organic raw form of ginger. Both aid in fertility in different ways, as far as your hormones, your estrogen levels, and things like that. Estrogen levels would help your LH surge, and you know, all of that type of stuff. So I'm going to be adding that, those two things. Now that raw form, I can't even say the word, raw form of royal jelly in the powdered form, that shit is expensive. It's like that was like almost $60 for a jar. And I'll put a description of it in, or put a link to it to Amazon in the description. The ginger, I can't quite remember what it was. I want to say it's between 20 and 30 bucks that I spent for that. And that's actually so the ginger I got in the liquid form. So you only take 2 teaspoons and you can put it in your tea or whatever, smoothie or something like that you drink. So what I'm going to do is, because I love peppermint tea, I'm going to mix both in my peppermint tea in the evenings. The week when I get into my most fertile days, I probably take it twice a day. I probably take it midday, like around lunchtime, and then again before I go to bed. So yeah, those are the two things that I added this cycle. This sun is beaming, y'all. Anyway, I didn't want to make this video too long because you guys know how I am. I just record at random or when things go on, and then I don't want you guys to always have 30 and 40 minute damn video. So I'm going to cut this video short. Of course, whatever I record the rest of this week, which is, you know, again today if I have to, or if I need to, and tomorrow, all of that will be uploaded tomorrow for my regular post date, which is Fridays. I will also on tomorrow begin testing, officially testing, because I started testing probably cycle day 3, because I wanted to begin the trend. Also, I forgot, guys, there was one other thing that I did add to my testing, is I purchased the pre-mom ovulation strips, which is kind of different from the easy at home strips, because the pre-mom does the semi-quantitative, I want to say semi-quantitative testing, whereas Easy Mom does the quantitative testing. And I could be saying that wrong. It could be qualitative, not quantitative. Anywho, when I get home, I'll show you the difference between the two, because I did purchase the box, and the way they're charted in the Easy Mom app is different as well, because they're basically on two different they're doing two different things, but basically kind of the same thing. Just they're both trying to catch your LH surge, just on a different way. So I want to show you guys what they look like in the Easy Mom app. I also want you to see what the strips look like, because the strips are different as well. The pre-mom strips are kind of thicker and wider, more heftier, I want to say. It will put you more along the line the design of the Prove progesterone strips, how those are made, whereas the Easy Moms are kind of flimsy or whatever. So I want to show you guys what those strips look like. I want to show you guys how it looks being charted on the app as well. And also this cycle, I will not be doing the OPK digitals throughout. I'm going to wait until at least 2 days before I am to get my peak, because I've been testing now for the last 3 months, so it's kind of running on the average of that I get my peak on 13th or 14th day of my cycle. So maybe on cycle day 12 is when I'll start testing on the digital OPKs. Because if you guys saw the video that I did on my testing for last cycle, you saw how many test strips that was, and it was fucking bananas. I mean, it was so much. And then me doing the testing on 3 wands, and then the test strips, it just became a nut show. So to kind of calm down on the testing, and not stress myself out about the testing, I will start testing on the digital OPKs on cycle day 12. Whereas last cycle, I believe I started on cycle day, I want to say I probably started on cycle day 6. So yeah, I'll circle back to you guys when I start testing on the digital OPKs as well. I will still continue to test on all 3 wands, but I just will not test for as long as I did. That I did in cycle, my IUI cycle 2. I also want to show you guys the hand chart that I made, kind of pulling everything together into one physical place, because I want to be able to, when eventually my baby is conceived and he or she gets here, I want to be able to, that cycle, that was the successful cycle that led to his or her birth, I want to get that framed, and I want it to go in his or her room with the first ultrasound pictures. So it was important to me to start charting that last cycle. So that has everything from the time I had, when AF came, to the time I started testing on the OPKs, when I started testing for the HCG, and the results of those things. And also it charts my BBT. So it charted when I got my my BBT spike, and everything. It's color coded and all of that good stuff. So I want to show you guys what that looked like for cycle 2. So you can see how I'm going to be charting that for IUI cycle 3, which I'm currently in now. So yeah, I got quite a few things to show you guys as far as that is concerned. I'll try to squeeze that in tomorrow's video when I start officially testing on I'm losing my train of thought, OPK strips, and then I'll show you what those strips look like and everything like that. Otherwise, I'm going to end it here, guys, and I will see you in the next video. All right, hi guys, welcome back. Oh my gosh, really? Chewy, go sit down. I don't know why they wait until I start. You guys see I'm sweating like a heathen. I just got in the house. I went to get something to eat. I went to Chick-fil-A, and then I came back and I had like 500 packages from Amazon on my doorstep. So I had to get all of that stuff in the house. But I wanted to record this real quick because I want to upload it today. So again, welcome back to my channel. I held off posting for yesterday because I was waiting for some things to come in from Amazon so that I can include it in this video so you guys can see what else I've added to IUI cycle 3. So today is cycle day 8. So I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I've added to this cycle. 1 second. Okay, so first I want to start off with the OPK strips that I'm using now. So you guys are familiar with the Easy at Home strips, but not much video is on the pre-mom OPK. So the pre-mom is I always get this wrong, it's qualitative, semi-qualitative, and the Easy Home is quantitative. I may be getting those two mixed up. If I am, I will include that in the description. I'm going to open them so you can see what they look like. Okay, so I've gone ahead and opened them so you can see kind of the difference between the two. So for the pre-mom, as you can see, is much thicker. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Butterfingers. So it's much thicker. As you can see, if that gets any clearer, it's much thicker. And it's longer than the Easy at Home one. And let's pick this one up so you guys can see how thin that one is, because they basically they both do the same thing, whereas they're trying to track where your peak is. One is based on the actual, so the pre-mom is based off of the level of LH in your system on a number range. So let me turn this over so you guys can kind of see what I mean. So the good thing about the pre-mom is that it comes with this color chart here, so you can kind of measure exactly where you are on your test. So that's one great advantage to the pre-mom. And as you can see, it's based off of the whole number. And so I was wrong. So it's semi-quantitative, and the Easy at Home is quantitative. So yeah, so when you take the test, you can kind of measure where it is. Even though the pre-mom app still can identify it, it's still good to have this this chart here in case you don't want to download the app and you're just using this as a side type of testing. You're not really using it for charting or anything like that. If you're using a different app to chart your fertility, this chart on the actual package is pretty helpful. And so on the Easy at Home, of course, this is the regular Easy at Home. These nails sometimes, guys. So I'm going to take these two tests in a minute, because since I've already opened them and I haven't tested today yet, I was trying to wait until after 2 or 3 o'clock this evening to go ahead and test on these particular ones, but I have tested on my digital wand, and I will include that footage into this video as well. So I will include the test results at the end of this video. But I want to move on to the other things that I've included into this IUI cycle 3. Okay, so I'm gonna move this to the side. So in the last video, or probably the clip before this, when I mentioned to you guys that I was adding royal jelly, but instead of that paste, I got the powdered form, which is highly concentrated. And what I do is I put it in my tea. So you only use 1/4 teaspoon of this. It's kind of slow to dissolve in the tea. So the hotter the tea, the better. And it takes some stir, but you still find like little like melted chunks. I don't even know if that's even a good way to describe it, because they're so minute that, I mean, if you're drinking your tea, you'll miss it if you're not really paying attention to it, that it didn't dissolve all the way. But as long as you're consuming it, you're getting it in. I mean, it really doesn't have too much of a taste, especially with how I make my tea. I really can't taste it as much. So yeah, I did add this. This was very expensive. I want to say it was almost $60, but I got to, I'll go onto Amazon and verify how much I paid for this, but this was very expensive. And hopefully it'll be one of the contributing factors for me to get my BFP this cycle. The other thing I've added to this cycle, as I mentioned before, was the ginger juice. So this is, let me get this up here. So this is use 2 tablespoons of this. So I also mix this in the same tea. So I mix the ginger juice, which once you open this, this has to go in the refrigerator. It must be refrigerated, and as you can see, it's organic. This was pretty expensive too. I think I spent maybe 30-40 bucks on this. But for the use, as you can see, you get 32 servings out of this. So this will last me about a month if I take it according to the directions, which more than likely I won't, because I'm going to be drinking this maybe twice a day. Well, putting this in my tea twice a day. So that's going to cut that down to half. So maybe a half a month, maybe 16, 17 days at the most, that this will last. And I'll have to re-up. But it'll definitely be going on while I'm still in cycle, IUI cycle 3. And I'll be taking this all the way through. So the rest of this testing period and right after the IUI, I will still continue to take this until I go for my blood pregnancy test to confirm whether IUI cycle 3 was successful or not. But this actually tastes pretty good to me, because I'm one of the type of people who likes ginger candy. So, you know, that kind of spicy kick that you get on the back end of ginger candy, like a really good ginger candy. That's kind of what this tastes like. But once I mix it in my tea, it just gives my tea that extra kick, which I really, really like. So you have to shake it up, and then I use a measure to pour out 2 tablespoons of this, and I put it in my tea. So the tea that I drink is, I love peppermint tea, and then I love this particular brand of peppermint tea. So I'll put it in my Keurig, and then once it's finished brewing, then I add the royal jelly, and then I add the ginger. The other thing that I add to my peppermint tea is the Irish cream mate, coffee mate. This is, when I mix all of this stuff together, guys, it's like Christmas in a cup every single day. It is so delicious. You don't have to take my word for it. Just try it once, and I promise you it'll be one of them things that you do all the time. Even before I started adding these 2 things, I would do the peppermint tea and the coffee mate, and then my sugar. And then I would, you know, brew it in my cup, which I love this cup. But yeah. And I put it in my cup, and then I enjoy. So hopefully these 2 things added to my cycle will contribute to me getting my BFP for IUI cycle number 3. Well, guys, that's it. As I said, I just got in the house. I wanted to record this video real quick because it takes a minute for me to, not so much as edit, but to export the video from the application that I use to create my videos and get it uploaded. It takes some time to do that, and I want to get that in before it gets too late in the day. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, of course, I'm not having any symptoms. I did get in the package that I mentioned when I was originally going to go through a medicated cycle. They called in the Clomid, they called in the trigger shot, and they also called in progesterone suppositories. And so that came in the mail today. Well, I picked up the Clomid yesterday. And the trigger shot and the progesterone came in today. So the Clomid I put up because, as I stated, this is not going to be a medicated cycle this cycle. And the trigger shot, which has to be refrigerated, I put it in the refrigerator. The pharmacist said it's good for 2 years as long as it's in the refrigerator. And so I'm not going to be using it this cycle. So it is in the refrigerator. So just in case I circle or I roll into a medicated cycle, I'll already have my medication, so I don't have to. Ooh. Sorry guys, my phone is about to die. But I'll already have the medication to roll into a medicated cycle if I have to. But as I also stated, the progesterone suppositories I will be using right after my IUI. So the day after my IUI is when I would begin using those progesterone suppositories. So, yep, that's it. Nothing else. That's a lot. I'm going to cut this video short. I'm pretty sure that this is another 30 damn minute video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I tried to keep it under 20 minutes. It's so hard when I got so much shit to say. But I want to thank everyone for continuing to support me in this journey, following this journey. If you're on your own TTC journey, God bless you. Keep the faith. Stay positive. All my new subscribers, there's one lady, I can't for the life of me think of her name. She just joined the fam, if you want to call it that. And she gave such kind words. And there's so many of my existing subscribers who always, you know, lift my spirits up when I'm feeling kind of down in the process. So just thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for even stopping and watching these long ass videos. Thank you so much for leaving a comment when you really don't have to, but you do take the time out of your day to talk to me. And I really appreciate that more than you know. Other than that, oh guys, look, I am sweating like a heathen. Like it is like got to be 75 degrees outside today, guys. It's ridiculous. And then I got my heat on. So yeah, I come in outside. See, it's so easy for me to just get distracted and start talking about other shit. Anyway, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next video.